He was just walking home. He was just 23. An ordinary night in the US. He had just finished work. Tired. Ready to go home. Earphones in. Hoodie on. Backpack over his shoulder. It was late but quiet. Until a flashlight hit his face. And everything changed. Elijah wasn't doing anything wrong. He wasn't trespassing. He wasn't causing trouble. He wasn't even running. He was walking home, something millions of people do every day. But for Elijah, that simple act turned into a death sentence. A 911 call had come in. Someone said a man was acting suspicious. He was waving his arms, wearing a mask, looking weird. That's all it took. No weapon. No threat. Just a vague suspicion, rooted in fear, fueled by stereotypes. Within minutes, 3 officers arrived. They didn't ask questions. They didn't try to understand. They didn't even announce who they were. They grabbed him, tackled him to the ground. And Elijah, confused, scared, cried out with words that still haunt people today. I'm different. I'm an introvert. Please stop. I can't breathe. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But they didn't stop. They held him down. One put a knee on his neck. Another handcuffed him. A third injected him with ketamine, a powerful sedative. Within minutes, Elijah was unconscious. He never woke up. His heart stopped. In the back of an ambulance. While officers laughed, joked, mocked him. One said he thought Elijah was faking it. Another said it didn't matter, because he was clearly on something. But a toxicology report would later show. He wasn't high. He hadn't taken drugs. He was just scared, overstimulated, overwhelmed, and then overpowered. The autopsy was inconclusive at first, but public pressure mounted. Protests erupted. People marched across the country, holding signs with Elijah's name, chanting his last words, demanding justice. Because Elijah McClain wasn't a criminal. He was a violinist. He used to play for stray cats at the animal shelter. He was gentle, kind, soft-spoken. He would apologize if he accidentally bumped into someone. He didn't deserve this. The officers were placed on administrative leave. But none were fired at first. None were arrested. The department claimed they followed protocol, that everything was done by the book. But the question was, whose book? Because in no world should an unarmed man die for walking home, for wearing a mask during flu season, for being different. As pressure built, the governor of Colorado ordered a special investigation. It took months. But finally, 2 years after his death, the officers and paramedics involved were indicted. But for Elijah's family, justice delayed was justice denied. They had buried their son, their brother, their friend, long before anyone took accountability. And still, the trial became a spectacle. Defense attorneys tried to paint Elijah as erratic, as unstable, as dangerous. But the footage didn't lie. The audio didn't lie. And neither did the grief of a mother who lost her only son. The case became a symbol of what happens when fear meets power, when bias becomes lethal, when police are trained to control, not to understand. Elijah's story wasn't unique, but it broke through the noise, because his pain was undeniable, because his words were haunting, because the world saw a child in a man's body, begging for his life, and being denied. After Elijah's death, several U.S. states began reviewing their use of force policies. Some banned ketamine injections by first responders. Others invested in alternative response units, mental health professionals instead of police for certain calls. But critics say it's not enough, because Elijah isn't the only one. There are others, too many to name, too many to mourn. And yet, every time it happens, the system says, we'll review, we'll investigate, we'll reform. But how many reviews does it take? How many investigations? How many dead before the system sees black and brown lives as fully human? Elijah McClain wasn't a statistic. He was a soul, a song, a story. He deserved to grow old, to play music, to laugh with friends, to live a full life. Instead, he became a hashtag, another name on a long list, another reminder that in certain places, at certain times, just existing can be a death sentence. And for anyone watching, anyone who thinks this can't happen to them, ask yourself, what if it was your brother, your cousin, your friend? Would you still call it just doing their job? Or would you call it what it was, an execution, by a system trained to fear the very people it was meant to protect? Elijah's voice may be gone, but the echo of his final words still rings, still hurts, still matters. I'm different. I'm an introvert. I'm sorry. Please stop. I can't breathe. This time, let's not just hear those words. Let's act on them. Let's make sure no other child, no other artist, no other soul has to die for being different. This is a true life story. Subscribe for more.